everyone, welcome to Naija Diaries. This is Kumuyi Oluwakemi Mercy, your host in the live session. And today on the live session, we will be talking about contentment. What is contentment? Contentment is the emotional state of satisfaction. The moment you feel like, yeah, I am satisfied. Yeah, that is you actually displaying or exhibiting the trait of somebody who is contented. Contentment is not actually having minor significance. You know, contentment is you not trying to be extraordinary. It shouldn't be you not trying to try. That's not contentment. You know that you don't have money, and you know that you can actually think of other things to do that can actually fetch you that money, but because you'll be like, I can feed myself 3 times a day. Yeah, congratulations. But you know that you can do more. That is not contentment. That is you trying to be foolish. And you must not be foolish. So yeah, so the emotional state of being satisfied and happy with yourself, that is contentment. But it does not mean you don't want more. It does not mean you don't want to do more. It does not mean you don't want to have more. It's just like you having one constant source of income. You know, your salary is in like 8-10 figures, and you know, somebody comes around and be like, you have to be content. No, you know, the moment you start earning large, your standard of living tends to become higher, and which is normal. You can't be earning in 11 figures, 12 figures, and you want to be living like me. No, it's not possible. And yes, that's a shade to myself to do more. Contentment is being happy with what you have, who you are, and where you are at the point. You know, we've seen so many people who at some point had, you know, an iota of contentment, but you know, along the line they fell. A friend of mine once shared his experience of contentment. You know, though it wasn't a very beautiful experience, but nonetheless, you know, there was it got to a point his salary he had an increase in salary, and you know, he saw the money. I was like, wow, is this my salary? Then you know, he started bawling. You know, a typical example of, oh God, I don't want to be a mechanic, I want to be a baller kind of thing. So he started to bawl. So at the end of the month, I think like 2 weeks to the end of the month, he realized that he has actually bawled himself out. And it was not like, really? You know, just that increase in salary was probably to just test his level of integrity. You know, somebody that has integrity would have to be contented, something like that. So it was not like, you know, he now had to call himself, you know, Yoruba would say, Okwe Yura ti Odofin. Yeah, he had to call himself to a meeting, you know, a general meeting. Just himself, oh, he called his eyes, called his hands, called his legs to a meeting. He summoned them. And like, Agbeni, what is wrong with all of you? You saw me boil and you couldn't stop me. You know, he shared that just for us to know that a raise in your salary does not mean, it's not a ticket to balling anyhow or spending anyhow. You know, you have to be responsible. When we talk about contented people, people who are actually contented, we're talking about people who are responsible. You know, we see people who have a lot of money, who are very wealthy. I just see that they are always very composed. You know, the way they comport themselves. That's why you will see that there's a difference between somebody who worked so hard to amass that wealth and somebody who just, you know, picked the money from somebody, swindled people and all of that. You know, there's always difference. In fact, not even a thing different. A lot of, you know, you see that difference. The fact that your friends have a lot of things to probably give out or anything, and you know that you're from a very humble home, and because you're seeing them doing all of that, then you say, maybe they are humans like myself, they are my age mate, they are my classmates, they are this, they are that. Yes, you are age mate, but you're not grace mates. You're not coming from the same place. And you decide to start balling too, start doing giveaway, you spoil things and you decide to pay. Yes, I spoil because I can pay. And you start calling your mommy from the village. Hello, ma'am, my money are finished. You know, even if I am that your mother, I will send people down to you to help me bundle you and bring you back to the village. Contentment, a state of emotional satisfaction. You know that indeed you have tried. You know, you're about to say, even if people are not around to praise you, you know that you have indeed tried. Something like that. Now, and you're satisfied. You are happy that yes, I have tried. Even if what I got from it is not really much, but you know that you have tried. Yes, that is contentment. Now, we have a lot of people in this generation that are not contented. And you know, it's always a sad thing when we see them and we feel this kind of urge to just probably tell them things about being satisfied or being contented with all you are or where you are at the moment. You know, I don't know if these people find it difficult to probably sit themselves down and read people's story. I love biographies personally. You know, in biographies or even autobiographies, you tend to see people's story yourself. You imagine it. You see people that started from, you know, from grass, and you see them coming up to grace. You know, I have seen friends who started from close to nothing, and they were okay. You know, they were following that process. They didn't jump. It's just like you saying that, oh, now my child is 5, and oh, by next week my child should be 10. No, my dear, possible. It is impossible. So that's to tell you that when you're not contented, you tend to outrun yourself, and that is just the fact. You have a colleague that you probably work in the same office, not workplace now, the same office, probably your assistant or whatever, but you are in the same office, you do same thing, your obligation is the same thing in that office, your responsibility is the same thing, you collect same salary. Now 2 months, 3 months into the job, you see your mate coming, your colleague coming with a Benz, and you're like, and you are already saving up for small Toyota, and you know, you've seen that, and you talk, you're like, of course, we are being paid same salary and all of that, and in the next 2 weeks, you decide to go to your dealer and say, Benz, go, you see that you don't have sense? You lack contentment. When you're contented, you'll be void of envy. You don't envy other persons because someone has something does not matter to you. When you're contented, you'll be humble. A contented person is actually disciplined, money-wise, marriage-wise, moral-wise. You will know that indeed this person is content. You see it in them. See, contentment is not something you can fake. If you are not contented, you are not contented. We will see it. Even if another person does say, me, I will know. If you are not content, me, I will know. So a contented person is actually a disciplined person. Now, how do we get contentment in life? I tell people that about existential vacuum. In life, you would always have things you need from now till we die. Existential vacuum is from conception till you die. You see somebody clamoring for marriage. Hey, I want to marry, I want to marry. Yes, they'll give you marriage, you marry. Now, 2 months, 3 months, 3 years, 4 years into the marriage, no children. Hey, I want to have children. I want to have children. I'm trying to tell you existential vacuum. I want to have children. I want to have. Okay, now 3 months, 2 years, 3 years, decide to give you children. Now, hey, well, my child is teething. My child is this. My child is that. See that trouble? But you want to have a smooth journey. No, existential vacuum is a must. There will always be that void in your life. Yes. Okay, you want to have money. You want to have money. You want to have what? They give you money. You have money, but then there still be other things that you want. You feel like, I want to get, not that money cannot get it. Yeah, money can get it. But you just see that you've been trying, but you can't just have it. I call some things natural gifts. Natural gifts that money cannot buy, wisdom cannot buy, intellect cannot buy. Yes, stuff like that. Stuff like that. So that is existential vacuum. Now, how do we now get contentment in life? Number one is focusing on the positives at the moment. I tell people that irrespective of the things happening around you, irrespective of the negatives, there will still be that one thing that is good. Things might be bad, but there is always one good. Probably the gifts of life. I don't know. I am just saying. But I'm very sure there will still be some other beautiful things that even if you don't see it now, you might get to appreciate it later. So focusing on the positives in your life, yeah, that's going to require you probably sitting yourself down and pointing it out, because there are some things that you might find difficult to point out the moment that those things are happening to you. So please, one of the ways to get contentment in life is focusing on the positive things happening even amidst the bad situation. Another thing is surrounding yourself with supportive people. You see, there are some people that they cannot help your contentment journey. They will only add to your problem. Imagine somebody that the person knows that at that point you can't afford some things, and the person starts saying, you'll be like, I can have this thing. Yes, you can have it, but why don't you appreciate what you have at the moment? Instead of, the person knows that you can't afford it probably in 2, 3, 4 years on a norm, but because that person is not also contented and is trying to probably recruit you into his or her group, they will start saying all sorts of things. Please, when you're trying to be contented in life, surround yourself with supportive people, family members, and that means you have to detach yourself from some persons that would not be useful in your journey to contentment. Please, in your journey to contentment, to having contentment, so surround yourself with supportive people, supportive friends, people that have that shoulder that you can lean on. It is very, very important, because without these supportive people, I'm sorry and I'm not sorry, your journey to contentment is yet to start. Another one is understanding existential vacuum. I'm not going to dwell much on that because I'd already said a lot about it earlier. So understand existential vacuum. It's going to help you in your journey to contentment. Another one is living in the present. You see, this is actually going to help you in taking steps to living a happier life. Live in the present. You don't have money at the moment. Yes, you don't have money. Know it. Don't live in denial. You know that at a point, probably at this moment, all you have on you is 500,000, both in cash and in kind and in bank. And so one of your friends comes around and said, I'm getting married, and the ashrebi is 250,000. You, inside of your mind, you know that all you've got on you is 500,000. And you know that if you buy the ashrebi, 250,000, you're going to transport yourself, book for a hotel, you're going to make a dress out of that fabric. And you know that at the end of everything, everything might result to having just 20,000 left in your account. You know that before you can get another money, will be at the end of the month. This is not realistic. You're not living in the present. I know that it's you'll be like, you can get different contacts there. Yes, but it's not a must to buy a ashrebi if you know you cannot afford it. Instead of trying to share yourself. Yeah. This does not mean that it's until you are broke that you have to live in the present. No, you can be wealthy and still live in the present. You see that there are so many people, rich persons in your family, that don't go to every function in their company. Ask them. Ask the rich people in your life. And I know you that you are rich, that you are watching this. Ask yourself, there are some parties you don't attend. Why? Because you feel like you do not need them. Yes, that is exhibiting contentment. And the things you can't do when you don't have much will be difficult for you to do when you have more than enough. When you're not rich, there are some things you don't do. Yes. I'm very sure that, in fact, I can bet with you that when you have enough, there'll still be some things, those things that you will not be interested in. Why? Because you've trained yourself to live in the present. So irrespective of the stage you are, irrespective of your level, everybody needs to come to that emotional state of satisfaction, of happiness within ourselves. I hope you've been able to learn a thing or the other from this session titled Contentment. Please, when you come across this video, do not forget to watch, like, comment, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love you and we hope you practicalize some of these things. We love you. Niger Diaries.
You can kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Niger Diaries.